Hey, welcome back to another episode of Guided by Faith. I'm your host, Jay Holland, and I want to ask one more time, if you enjoy this podcast, you listen to it on a regular basis, could you do me a big favor and leave a review? Go on Apple Podcasts, leave a review, go on YouTube and like and subscribe, or Spotify. I don't even understand how Spotify works. I listen to it, but I don't know how to leave reviews on Spotify. If you do, would you be smarter than me and do that for me? That would be a real big encouragement to me. This week we're walking through the last section of Romans chapter 8. Yesterday we kind of went on a review of the entire Romans 8 from verse 1 to verse 31 and all of the incredible benefits that God gives us. And I hope that was an encouragement for you. Today we're going to look at, let me read 31 and 32 because they go together. What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? Let me read that second verse again. The first, what shall we say then to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? That's pretty easily understandable for me. Mind-blowing, but understandable. This second one, though. He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all. So that means God the Father, because God the Father did not spare his own son, but God the Father gave Jesus up for me and you. If he did that, it says, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? And so he's saying, if God the Father loved us so much that he gave up Jesus, was willing to let Jesus go through what he went through to redeem and reconcile you and I, how will he now withhold whatever you need? And it says, how will he not with him graciously give us all things? So the him in this passage would be Jesus. And so the question then is, if God gave up Jesus for you to be saved, can't you trust that Jesus and God the Father will give you everything you need for life? And that's the promise of Scripture, that God is going to give you everything that you need. Now, God doesn't give me everything that I want. And sometimes I feel like the things I want would be really good things. Sometimes the things that I want, I feel like, God, why wouldn't you want me to give those? But I have to remember that God, my Father, has an eternal perspective. He can see things that I can't see. I'm a dad of 4 kids. My children are now, the youngest is 14 up to 23 years old. And I remember when they were little, there'd be times where they would ask for things. And in their perspective, it seemed like the best, most natural thing in the world. And I could sympathize with them because I could see, yes, absolutely, I agree. Eating ice cream instead of dinner sounds like a really good logical thing, but it's not a good thing. It's not the best thing. And so we need to understand that God is not withholding from us. Jesus is not withholding from us. If Jesus did not withhold himself from you, you need to be confident that he's not withholding any good thing from you. Now, sometimes I know that God delays good things, and sometimes I don't understand why. But generally what I see is, with perspective, the delay of the good thing that God ultimately brought to me ended up growing me or maturing me or putting in a position where I could really enjoy this benefit or blessing, or put me in a position where I could handle this blessing. Like I'm married, and I've been happily married for 18 years now. And if I had met my wife when I was in high school, I would have torched the relationship so bad that we would have never made it. There's like 3.5, 4 years age difference. So it would have been super weird for me to have met her in high school. But even just personality wise, it's like, Lord, I want you to bring me the right person. If he had brought me her, it would have been the right person at the wrong time. And that would have made it the wrong person. And so our principle today, if sometimes my struggle is I struggle to trust God. And maybe you have that as well. You struggle to trust God because you feel like, I want this thing and God's not providing it. Or I want this thing and God took it away. And it ultimately comes down to security. Can I trust God? It's back to what we talked about last week with our core need. Who do I trust? I can trust God. So I can trust if God removes something from my life, even if it is a really good thing, God's got a purpose, an eternal purpose that in eternity God will work out and show me. Sometimes that purpose is an earthly purpose, and I will see it before it's all said and done. Sometimes that purpose is an immediate purpose, and I'll see it really soon. But I want you to learn to trust God. I want you to, anytime you feel like you're getting a raw deal from God, I want you to remember the cross. The only one that got a raw deal was Jesus. Jesus got a raw deal because he got my sin and your sin, tortured, crucified, betrayed. That's a raw deal for somebody who is sinless and perfect and loves us. You're not getting a raw deal from God. You might be getting a delay. You might be getting an exchange of something better, but you can trust him. And so I encourage you to take your worries, take your concerns, take your fears, and take your disappointments that you might have in the moment with God. Just take it to him. Talk to him about it. Ask him what he's doing. Ask him to show you the way and give you patience. And then trust that he will give you all good things. He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? If it's good for you, God will give it to you.